Hi everyone, I'm Sunny, and today's pick a card is a yes or no format, but it's going to be about your celebrity crush and whether they would take you out to a red carpet event with them. So, from left to right, I have pile 1, 2, and 3. So, if you need more time, you're more than welcome to pause the video and then select the pile of your choice when you're ready. So, I will start with pile number 1. So, pile number 1, would your celebrity crush take you out on a red carpet event with them? You guys have the world up, right? So, I'm just going to cover it because you know, the artwork, nudity. I'm trying my best to remember that. So this is a yes for you guys. So when it comes to this particular person you're thinking about, I think they're very likely going to make you feel like you're not that you're like an alien in this event, but more so I think you're not used to like big fancy events, and of course who isn't, but in the sense where you're your celebrity crush is not the only star. There's a bunch of other people who have a lot of different talents, and they're all extremely popular and well liked. So I do think you might try to mingle with them and try to get to talk to them and know them. Maybe take a picture with them, take an autograph. I think you might try to be sneaky in the sense of like, I want to go talk to that person, but I have to be stuck with this person. Like, it just feels like you want to be there, but you also want to support your celebrity crush, but you also want to support other people and get to know them. It kind of feels like that where you're like, I don't know where to. Maybe you have too much stimulation mentally when you're in this type of event because you're like, where do I go? Where do my eyes go? It feels like that. You're learning a lot about different cultures, different people, different things that you possibly didn't know about behind the scenes, but you kind of knew there's always people that are working with these artists and um, directors or something like that, right? Any particular field, but when it comes to that, typically that's the people that I've gotten an idea with your celebrity crushes. More or less, that's the avenue that you guys typically pick, or maybe people who just end up working behind the scenes because they produce things with music or visuals and stuff like that. So I do feel that you would possibly feel not like a fish out of water, but it just feels like it's a very alien-esque type of environment that you knew existed, but it feels very different once you're inside. So you're astonished by how much diversity there is possibly. Even at that, I think there's so many people from different cultures too that look very different from you. You possibly even look exotic yourself in this place. So I feel that you're mesmerized by beauty, by wisdom, and by different personalities and people. So I do think you're going to be very entertained in this type of environment, pile number 1. But I do feel this is a yes. Your celebrity crush would take you, and I feel that overall, I think you would just want to kind of look everywhere. Like example, if they're interviewing them, you're kind of like looking straight at the camera, but you're like eyeing something else. Like, is that so and so walking this way? Like, I kind of like it feels like you have one eye straight ahead, and the other eye is kind of like glancing the other way. So it feels like that where it's like, I wish I had more eyes to look everywhere so I can not look disrespectful and stuff like that. But I do think you're gonna have a lot of fun. I think that you might just it might be like a special kind of night where you're like, I didn't know this could happen to me. So I do think you're gonna fangirl. It's a very fangirling type of energy, but it's exciting, and I think your celebrity crush picks up on it. So they're like, yeah, go ahead. Like, they're used to that, but you're not. So I think they might let you have your own moment where you're kind of just like in your own zone and just kind of mingling around with people. And I do think you might have to like dress up a bit more than what you're used to, more than the casual look that you could possibly be used to. So it might make you feel like not uncomfortable, but like different, but it's a good difference. So I think that you are trying to embody this glamorous type of energy as you are surrounded by that, because obviously everybody looks perfect, but I think you're not realizing that the reason why people look great and stuff is because, of course, there's like people that work behind the scenes who always look at the artist, and they're like perfecting their makeup, their hair, their outfit. They walk with them. They make it's like an entourage. There you go. So they basically have, and even at that, they have like these contracts where like, yes, they have these beautiful outfits and jewelry, but it's pretty much lend out because they're trying to get promo for the company and stuff. It's not like they can typically keep these items. Most of the time they end up back to the person, or they end up in a museum, or like those charity things where they just kind of like give out stuff from the artist or person that was famous, and they kind of like sell it for like charity stuff. So remember, like, this is like very Venusian, but it's like Neptunian, because it's like what you see behind the TV screen basically is not the same when you're thinking behind the scenes, right? There's a lot that goes behind that. But I do think you're gonna, overall, going back to you're gonna have a lot of fun when it comes to basically interacting with this celebrity crush. I think they might kind of let you be free. They're not gonna hold you accountable. Like if you don't stick around. I think there's someone that is very independent and free spirited too, and they understand that you are curious, so they would allow you to let your mind go wild when it comes to stimulating conversations with people and stuff like that. So they would allow you to kind of just do your own thing. I don't really necessarily feel like you would kind of stick by them all the time, but I do think you'll kind of want to be around them for some amount of time and then just kind of wander off and like fangirl and do your thing. But they won't take that to heart. They're just like, oh, it's just a fan. Like, they're just doing their thing. So that's what I have for you, pile number 1. Next, pile number 2. You guys have the 8 of Pentacles upright. So this is a yes. Your celebrity crush would take you out to a red carpet event with them, but I think it's for work purposes. So don't get too excited on that. It's all work, all business, no play. So it feels like similar to some themes that I mentioned in pile number 1, where I think that basically because they're the face of, for example, a perfume, or they're the face of some jewelry or product they're advertising and they signed a contract and stuff, or even just like like shoes or clothing, lend out clothing pieces. They made a contract, they have to, show up and do the promo and be like, what are you wearing? Oh, I'm wearing this and this and this. Like, it's amazing. And then they have this fall, like, line, and they're great. Like, they have to do their homework. They're doing their thing. They're advertising, they're marketing, they're showing their part, basically, for work purposes. Or it could be also that they're promoting something that they're working through, right? I mean, everybody typically gets invited for these things like that, or it's because, they're relevant with their work. So I feel that because it's part of their advertising for, like, their upcoming movie or album and stuff like that, or just, like, because they're trying to promote new projects and mingle with connections and stuff like that, they're doing their work. It's not a place where they would go to have fun and, like, chill out and just laugh. It feels very much for its business. I'm there to market, I'm there to connect, and I'm there to make the best I can do with what I have. But it's very, it just feels like they don't let loose as much as you do. So if you think you're going to have a great time, you have a decent time. It's not like it's going to be a bad event with them, but it just feels like it might be a little bit cold, it might be a little distant, because you thought you imagined it to be very different, and it's not like that. So it feels like, oh, you're talking to this person, okay, but then they talk for like 2-3 hours and kind of leave you alone in a corner to do your thing. It feels like, okay, I'll just go eat over here, go get some finger food, I'll go get a glass of champagne, we'll get this, and I'll be right back. And he or she won't even notice. So it feels like that, where it's like, oh, they're fine. So I do think it's not that they're, like, mean, it's just that within their work, I think they could be workaholics. That's very important for them, so I feel that maybe kind of annoys you. Don't take it personal, but work ethics are very important for them. Money's important for them. Not popularity is not so much their thing, but I feel that as long as they have work, that's important. That means they're going to have a steady income, so they have to make do with what they can. So they use these opportunities, like events like that, to find more work opportunities and work connections, or like, because they're mingling with people and getting on their good side. Not saying that they're kissing ASS, but in the sense where they're connecting and putting their charming face on. It's like they're what's it called, their work face. They're turning on the charm. It feels like they can possibly make good connections like that. So don't take it personal. You're gonna have a good time, but not the kind of good time you thought you were gonna have. I do think that maybe you might be served good food and stuff, but it's gonna be a lot more practical than you think compared to how elaborate you thought it was gonna be, or glamorous, or like, bougie. It just feels like you were kind of maybe a little bit let down because it's like, oh, this is just work. I have nothing to do here. Like, this just, yeah, I stand out because of that. It's not like I really work on this type of stuff. So you might just go there for the good music, good food, and just for the nice pictures, and that's it. But you might not get that much attention from them. I think they're very distracted. They're in their own field, so they're not going to be looking at you. So unfortunately, it's a yes, but it doesn't seem like the positive yes you were seeking. It seems like this is a yes. It's like, yeah, they're taking you, but it's for work purposes. Maybe you make them look good. Maybe you're someone that kind of gives them connections, but it just feels like work, 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 work. No play. So thank you, pile number 2. Next, pile number 3, you guys have the Empress reverse. So no, your celebrity crush would not take you out, but hear me out as to why this is a no, in case you just want to come in and just click out. So the reason why they would not take you out to a red carpet event is because, one, typically this is meant more for females, I guess, but it just feels like if you have a family home or you're expecting, it's like, how could they do that? Like, you're almost about to pop out maybe, and they're like, maybe it's a liability, maybe it's just for your own safety. It's like, it's not the appropriate time to take someone that's expecting to this red carpet event, and they're just like, look, I'm just thinking about your safety and your is it commodity? Is commodity? Yeah, commodity is a word. It's not a word that I'm like fixing up. They're trying to be accommodating to your situation, and being on your feet maybe for like extended periods of time might not be reasonable. You might need to be sitting down more. So it's not maybe a place that you can just sit down right away. So it's kind of like there's a lot of things you have to consider, and you might not be comfortable. Or they themselves could be expecting, or they're just like, they have a family. Like, the family unit is very important, and maybe they're a bit of a homebody too. And you can be a homebody. So maybe that's why it's a no. So it feels like family situations are the reason why you could not go. Or you just expecting, maybe it's just a fangirl moment and you could have gone but you couldn't because of your circumstances, or because of female issues too. It could be that way, where it's like, periods come and go, but they're not that great for you. They're just very uncomfortable. Or maybe you have PCOS or stuff like that, where that once you start getting closer to the day where it's supposed to be at, your health isn't doing that great because it's like uncomfortable, you have pain, you have all these symptoms, and it's unavoidable, right? Or maybe this person's like that, where these symptoms are unavoidable for them. They're like, no, this is just, it's not going to happen. So you could be like that. I think they could also be someone that's more interested in other things. I don't think there's the kind of person that's like going to be frivolously entertaining people just because they're charming or just because it's fun. I think there's someone that's a little bit more private, and maybe you could be too. So that could be some of the reasons as to why it's a no. I do think a lot of this has to do with maybe that softer part isn't like, I think they're the kind of person that doesn't associate like those kinds of events as like a place where you can be honest about yourself or your emotions, or you can open up to people. It's just mostly like I want to say ha ha ha. It's more like a party scene maybe for them, that they've, from what their perspective is, and that's not the kind of place they want to be around. I think they're someone that's just wanting to be at home, chilling in the comfort of their own clothing of choice, and they don't want to be restricted. Or it could be you too, where you're like, it's not my style, it's not my place, but you still want to. I think maybe you might be let down if this is the case for them, where these are their reasons, and like you're like, I was really hoping to look looking forward to this event. But oh well, like they're your celebrity crush. They are allowed to have off days too. So again, this is why it's a no, and it's a no for this, made up belief scenario. I can't say that word. I'm sorry. Made up scenario basically, where you get to have a chance of meeting them in person, and I think they might also be someone that they might not willingly ask you out. I feel like they're a little bit cold. There's some form of like restriction with them. So like, if you want to get to know them, it's gonna take a long time. So you seeing them in their habitat, quote unquote, is not gonna happen because they're very private. I feel like very, very private and respected. Like they respect that privacy enough to not want to be easily open about it. So that's why it's also a no. So I hope you enjoyed that. It's kind of quick, to the point. So thank you guys very, very much. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. It was kind of like a quick made-up scenario. So I know you guys enjoyed that. So please like, subscribe, comment, and share if you enjoyed my content. It helps me out so much. I appreciate all my subscribers and viewers. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. So bye-bye, everybody.